Hello, Internet. This is Whispering Whim, bringing you another grocery haul today. And I don't really have any special announcements, so we can just jump right in. First up is this crinkly old bag of apples. My guy's favorite apples are the Granny Smith, and I'm glad to see that not every store is as expensive on apples. I did a little in-between grocery trip, right? Like a week and a half ago. And I got 2 single little apples at Save Mart, which is the closest grocery store to me. But saving in the name means nothing, because I spent like $3 on 2 apples, which was ridiculous. They were, granted, a little bit bigger than these guys, but not, double the price bigger, because I got this whole bag for roughly $4. So, yeah, that was a bit of a sticker shock. I can't believe how expensive food is just getting, right? Next up, we have a flavor mix party size chip bag thingy for my guys' lunches. I usually avoid getting pre-packaged chips. I do it sometimes, but overall, it's a little bit more eco-friendly to get a bigger bag and then make little bags later, because I'm one of those people who washes her Ziplocs. And also it's usually cheaper, and it would have been cheaper to get big bags, but in here are just 3 lonely bags of Cheeto Puffs. I've been craving Cheeto Puffs for maybe like 2 months now. I keep telling myself no, because it's just junk food, and if I buy the whole bag, I'm the only one who's going to eat that. My guy doesn't really like the puffs. He'd prefer the crunchy ones, which maybe he's not alone in that, considering there's only 3 puffs and 5 crunchy guys. But anyways, I finally was like, okay, maybe I can justify having some puffs if they're just a tiny bag of puffs. And I got this. Add a little bit of variety to his lunches anyway, so it's good to shake things up just a little bit. Next up, we've got some English muffins. I think I told you last month about how there were some English muffins at the hotel I was staying at for work, for my business, and that it just kind of awakened a desire to eat more English muffins, and that has not stopped yet. Although this is only the second bag I've had, because I usually do the big grocery trip and I eat most of the tasty things, and then I have a smaller grocery trip where I just refresh like vegetables and fruits and stuff. So English muffins are a big trip treat, I guess. And speaking of the business, my arts and crafts business, I have been getting a lot more requests lately for like a take-along video, show you like what I do, where I sell, things like that. I do actually have one video like that. I filmed a bunch of footage from when I went to Washington last year to visit my sister and sell. Kind of an off video in that the pandemic was going on, so it wasn't a real great example of how, the typical show goes, right? But I am going to go ahead and link that video in the description box below, just in case more people are curious about that. I will try to do another video with more of a local show. In fact, I've already tried once and had way too many technical difficulties. And I think the next good show for filming won't be until October, because some of them, they're just different. But anyways, I will link that video. Let me know if the voiceover works for you, because that's The one thing I always hesitate on about doing more videos like that with me out and about is that I don't have the equipment to film my voice, you know, at an ASMR quality out in the wild. My laptop, the battery is like essentially dead, so it has to be plugged in nonstop, and that's where I run my microphone through. So it has to be voiceover if I'm going to do a video like that, and I've never really gotten any super great feedback. So anyways, let's move on because we are here for the groceries and the blah, 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 blah noise that my AC is doing. I turned it off to film, and it gets grumpy when I do that. All right, anyways, sourdough bread. I will be making some steak sandwiches, which is one of my guys' favorite meals in the world. We're having a date night here coming up this weekend. Yeah, already. And we decided to eat at home and then do something nice afterwards. So I figured getting steak sandwiches would be good. Speaking of my guy, we have some strawberry donuts for him to eat for breakfast on top of those English muffins that I will mostly consume before he has a chance. We've got some onions, good old classic onions. Not much to say there. And we have some egg noodles. I'm going to be making some soups despite how hot it is, just because I'm really tired of salads, and soups are another good, you know, like not junk food option, and they're cheap. We're really trying to save money. You know, we're not living paycheck to paycheck quite yet, but our expenses seem to be going up quicker than the money is, especially because I've had a bit of a slow summer with the business. So yeah, we're just nickel and diming it. Anyways, some large black olives, mostly for my salads. Got some jalapeno pretzel pieces. These are so interesting. I really, really enjoy the taste of them. It's like a sourdough, really dense, kind of crunchy thing. But I have a hard time with really dense, crunchy things because of the braces. So I have a love and hate relationship with these. But they're mostly for my guy, so it's okay that I have a hard time eating them, because that means I'll actually save them for his consumption instead of my own, right? That's the hope anyways. Got some coffee filters. Not much explaining needed there. And then some green split peas. This is one of the soups I'll be making. Love a good old split pea soup with a bit of ham in it. Oh, it's actually probably like top 3 soups. I think my favorite soups are split pea, cheddar broccoli, and be a tie between chicken noodle and meatball soup. But anyways, split pea is one of the ones I'll be making this month. And that finishes out our first bag. Next up, we have some saltine crackers. I got the little Fresh Stacks pack. This helps me not eat so many of them in a row because they're in smaller sleeves. And you know, I actually can stop eating them. It's not like potato chips. The problem is they go stale real fast once you open up a pack. So I feel compelled to eat them before they go bad, right? So the Stay Fresh packs do as advertised. They help them stay fresh. Next up, we have some lemon wafer cookies. Good old-fashioned lemon wafers. I think I like these more than my guy, but he tolerates them because I enjoy them so much. And then we have some Newtons, the not fig Newtons. I think I've mentioned this before, but he hates fig. But he likes the Newton type cookie, which is really funny to me. I actually kind of like figs, so I miss it when I get the strawberry ones, but you know, what can you do? And then here are some gold coins that I found in the bin section at my local Winco. I say local, but it's like 20-minute drive. And I got these, so I had kind of alluded to the fact that we're kind of penny pinching right now. And part of the reason why we're penny pinching is that my guy has gotten really self-conscious. He wanted to be the breadwinner, let me do my fun stuff, arts and crafts and, support me. And he is supporting me. But we haven't been able to move into a house or, do anything grandiose like that. And it's really gotten him down. I don't think less of him for it. I enjoy my life. Honestly, could I use more space? Definitely. Would I like a house? Yeah, but it's not the end of the world. Anyway, so I saw these in the bin section and decided I was going to put them in his lunch because, you know me, I love to put fun things in his lunch, right? And then I think I'm going to put in a little note that says something to the effect of like, I don't care about the money. Life with you is sweet enough. I'm still workshopping what exactly the note will say. But I hope that'll cheer him up a little bit. He's already gotten over most of it, kind of ish. I think it's just always in the background of his mind, right? Now then, next up we have some Devil's Spit barbecue sauce. And that is nice and spicy for my guy. We have some Parmesan crusted shake and bake. I made some homemade shake and bake actually. We had run out and I didn't get it on my in-between trip. And the homemade stuff is fine, but somehow this is better. I'm gonna have to figure out what exactly is the difference, because I can't quite tell based on these ingredients. Like I used breadcrumbs and seasoning and a little bit of oil and kind of made a powder out of it, and I don't know, it worked, but this stuff works better. And it's been like my favorite meal to do the shake and bake and roasted zucchini at the same time. It's just been so hot, right? Just crazy hot. Like I'm already sweating. I turned off the AC to do this video and I might break down and turn it back on. So all of my favorite dishes are very like heat intensive. I like to roast broccoli for an hour at a time. Things like that. So the shake and bake / zucchini is nice because both things are done in roughly 25 minutes. I can put them in at the same time and, that cuts down on some of the electronic heat anyways. But yeah, it's just been hot. It's September already. I'm ready for cool. Next up, we have some sweet and salty nut chewy granola bars. This is for my guy's lunches, of course. Also for his lunches are the Scooby snacks. And let's see here. We've got some more crackers. These are the Breton sesame crackers, and these are more for me. I enjoy them with like tuna fish and stuff. And then, here's something fun. Again, I was perusing the bin section, and you never know what you're going to find in the bin section at Winco. But this time around, since Halloween is coming up, they have these gummy eyeballs. How fun is that? And so I think I'm going to sneak these in his lunches too. Once it gets slightly closer to Halloween. We're still, over a month out, but I know lots of people who are super, super Halloween crazy. I've heard that that's mostly an American thing or a US thing. I try to correct myself. The United States is not all of America, but it's hard. Everyone just likes to be like, oh, America. Like we're all of it. So it gets in your psyche. Anyways, that's a separate tangent, right? But like, I actually don't know anyone who genuinely dislikes Halloween. I know a couple of people who are ambivalent about it. They don't care. But I'd say like 75% of the people I know love Halloween. It's probably their favorite holiday. They go crazy for it. They decorate. Especially in my age group, I know more people who decorate for Halloween than people who decorate for Christmas. For reals. So the Halloween stuff just appears in the store earlier and earlier every year. I guess that's kind of true of all the holidays, huh? Okay. Now, next up, we have some cranberries. This is one of my favorite things to put in salads lately. Cranberries just brighten the whole thing up. A little bit of sweet is kind of fun among all the other, more savory ingredients, right? So, good stuff. And we have one lonely packet of those Grill Mate seasonings that I tend to go crazy for. And in fact, I'd have more packets if they had more flavors available when I went, but they had very few. So I only got one. And then I got a box of curry mix. It's been at least a month since we've had curry, I think. Maybe. I'm trying not to be overly repetitive with meals, but there's only so many cheap meals that we enjoy. And then we've got some diced tomatoes and some white beans. And I bet you can guess what the white beans are for. Oh, I make so much white bean chili. I think I must buy ingredients for that every single video. I would be hard-pressed to find a video that I haven't. And then here, in this bag that apparently is ripping on me, you try to be eco-friendly. You get these bags so that you don't use the plastic bags, and they just, I don't know, maybe I need to buy better quality, but they split a lot. But anyways, in this bag are 2 mangoes. Apparently we are now a mango household officially. That's going to be a new regular item. My guy likes them. They're fairly inexpensive, although that might be the time of year. If they get more expensive in Christmas or in the winter time, I'll definitely cut them out, I think, because they are a pain to cut. That pit inside of a mango, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but kind of like a peach pit, the flesh clings to it. But worse than that is it's like elongated. It's not just a round thing, and I'm used to round pits. But this is more like a saucer shape, and oh gosh, it's so annoying. Anyways, but my guy likes mango, and I like mango too. It's not his fault that I keep buying them, but I like to blame him. Okay, we have some beef broth. That is for the other soup I will be making. Alongside those egg noodles, I'm going to be making meatball soup. And the meatball soup I make doesn't really taste like any other meatball soup I've had before. Like I've had sort of an Italian style meatball soup, wedding meatball soup. I've had one where people just chuck in the Swedish meatballs, which it's a little too sweet. It's weird. But yeah, I don't know why mine tastes different, because I just put meatballs in soup. I don't know how else to explain it. But that's how it goes. Yeah. So let me straighten all this up and we'll jump into the cooler stuff. Okay, are we ready for the cooler bag? All the cooler items did fit in one bag today, minus the chicken, which I've already split up and separated for sanitation reasons. Kind of a bit of a smaller grocery trip, I guess. It felt like I was getting all the things I needed, but I guess I'll find out later in the month if it was enough, right? So anyways, first up are some snow peas. I've also seen them labeled as Chinese peas or Chinese green beans. They're kind of similar to like a sugar pea or a snap pea, but they're not quite as snappy. The casing is a lot thinner, and I enjoy these a lot more than sugar peas. And that's sad because it's actually easier to find sugar peas. I only really find these when I go to Winco, Whole Foods, or goodness, what is that one? There's a really expensive grocery store that's close to me, and I'm blanking on the name, but that one will have the right kind of peas, at expensive grocery store prices. I think if I ever became rich, though, I'd still buy my own groceries, but I probably would shop at that super expensive store that I'm blanking on the name. What is that one? Anyways, because their produce is way better than anywhere else in town, but I just can't justify the price. Okay, here is one lonely green bell pepper. And that is for the steak sandwiches. We've got some jalapenos. Some of them are going to be for the white bean chili that I make every month. And actually probably twice this month. Because I just made it last night. And then I'm also going to do jalapeno poppers to go with the steak sandwiches. They're super tasty. I make them a little bit different than most people. I don't stuff the cream cheese just straight in the jalapeno. I cut the jalapenos in half and I roast them just a little bit. And then I cook up some tiny little bacon bits from, uncooked bacon, make bacon bits. And then I whip that in with some cream cheese and regular cheese, and then I top it with more cheese. And then the already roasted jalapenos get stuffed and then tossed back in the oven just long enough to warm everything back up again. So decadent, so delicious, so much effort. Which is why I sort of save them for more special occasions usually. Okay. Next up we have some smoked ham shanks. I really need to start using these more. Like this whole thing, 2 pounds of shank was only $3.25. Now granted, some of that is bone, but I use the bone in the soups, so it's a good thing to have. I think the only reason why I don't use it more often is that you cook it in the oven and then everything gets that like hammy smoke smell for like a week. Like my oven will smell like it for a few days, and the Instapot, because I cook the soup in there eventually, will sometimes smell like ham and smoke like a month after I've used it. I really got to get better about switching out the little ring gasket things. If you've ever owned your own Instapot, they have like a sealing thing that's made out of silicone, I think. But that's the part that absorbs most of the smell. So, and I have spares. I don't know why I don't just switch it out and have one dedicated ham. I need a ham ring. That's what I need in my life. Okay, sorry. Serious time. Jalapeno ranch. One of my friends here on the YouTube had mentioned how they don't get a lot of jalapeno stuff where they live. And that just made me sad because not only do we get a lot of jalapeno stuff here, but in this household, we eat a lot of jalapeno stuff. I don't know what I'd do if we moved somewhere that didn't have jalapenos. My guy would be very sad. Next up, we have some good old cauliflower. That's mostly for my breakfast, believe it or not. Especially on the weekends. I will cook up bacon for my guy, and I'll have a few slices. But then I'll use a little bit of the leftover grease to fry up a vegetable. And cauliflower is one of my favorite vegetables for breakfast fry. Although I use quite a few others. You know, I'll use broccoli for that, peppers like bell peppers. What else would I use? Brussels sprouts. There's all sorts of things because, you know, as soon as you have bacon grease, you can make a tasty vegetable out of almost any vegetable. I probably wouldn't fry celery though. That sounds weird. I'm not sure why, but that sounds super weird. But I do have some celery here. That will be a nice addition to our soups. Plus, I think my guy is getting a little tired of the carrots in his lunch. So we're going to do some days that have celery and peanut butter instead. Next up, we have some Parmesan cheese. I love shaved Parmesan cheese. We have a big old thing of half and half. You know, I had, for whatever reason, as talking to a friend about the differences between, you know, going to Winco versus my local grocery store versus going down to Sam's Club, because none of them are close to each other, so I have to like pick and choose, right? And I was commenting on how it was funny. Sam's Club is like a bulk store. Typically, you get giant things of everything. With the exception of half and half. You can't get one this big at Sam's Club. You can get one about a half the size. I always thought that was so weird. Next up, let's see here. We have some bacon. I was very, very tempted to just get strips of bacon because it's so much easier to use. But we really are trying to pinch pennies, and this is just so much cheaper. And, you know, it's usable. I make our breakfast bacon with this stuff. I chop it up for jalapeno poppers and all sorts of other, you know, food stuff. So it works. You just have to finesse it a little bit more, right? Next up, we've got some butter. Good old butter. Probably eat more butter than I should, but what you gonna do, right? Got some cream cheese. That'll go inside my jalapeno poppers. Got some Colby Jack cheese. I plan on serving the soup with grilled cheese sandwiches. That helps my guy feel like it's a full meal. He doesn't think soup by itself counts as a meal, so I've got to add like a bread thing for him, and grilled cheese seems to be his favorite so far, so that's what he gets. And then last but not least, for our cooler bag, we have some shredded cheese here, and that's to go on top of our chili and salads and all that fun stuff, right? And then, since it seems like it's been a little while since I've done my freezer bag, I have one for you today. There's not a whole heck of a lot in it. But first up, some garlic knots. This is another little like bread item to help my guy feel more satisfied with his meal. Got some pepper stir fry. This has onions, green peppers, red peppers, and yellow peppers. All of those are bell peppers. They don't specify, but that's what they are. And this is another thing that I like to put in my bacon grease breakfast. And then we have one more bag of freezer vegetables. This is the Asian stir fry mix. And it has broccoli, carrots, onions, red peppers, celery, water chestnuts, and mushrooms. With that, we're at the end of the video, so let's go ahead and do some lovely little shout outs. Shout out to Soapy Water, Hannah Salvador, Wicca Banks, Delphina, Barbara, Singalova, Snuffle Pig. Thank you guys for commenting. I really appreciate seeing those in my inbox, even if it takes me a little while to respond sometimes. So yeah, stay awesome, you guys. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next time, okay? Nighty night.